Hi, welcome to my office. What can I do for you guys?
Hello, my name is Zan Balson-Sims, and I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm Kyle Bogart, and I'm also from Cleveland, Ohio.
Hi, my name is Damien. I'm also from Cleveland, Ohio.
Hi, welcome. What kind of issues are you here to talk to me about?
In the United States, teenage women will experience about 800,000 pregnancies each year. In addition, almost 41,000 American adolescents between the ages of 13 and 24 have been diagnosed with AIDS by the end of 2004. We feel that comprehensive sex education, meaning sex education that teaches the use of contraceptives, along with abstinence, is the best way to prevent this, not abstinence-only sex education, despite the fact that schools receive government funding for abstinence-only sex education and not comprehensive.
One close personal friend of mine was taught abstinence only in school. She said that they told her that she only had to abstain from sex until marriage, and that contraceptives constantly failed. Obviously, she had no idea how to use contraceptives or what kinds they were and how to get them. In spite of this education that the government seemed to think helped prevent sexual teen pregnancy, my friend had sex, but because of the lack of education about birth control, it did not enter her mind as something necessary. She continued to have sex like this until a short time after she started, she became pregnant. She says that if she had someone that had just taught her about contraceptives, she probably would have realized the necessity for them in preventing pregnancy and also preventing STIs, which she realizes she was lucky not to get.
It is because of this and stories like it about the failure of abstinence-only sex education, along with statistics and studies, that we feel it is necessary for you to support the Responsible Education About Life, or the REAL Act. The REAL Act, if passed, would fund programs in states to give them the option of providing comprehensive sex education. They would teach both abstinence and using contraceptives and condoms at age-appropriate levels.
Do you have any questions or comments so far?
Well, I know my boss is supportive of this issue, and I believe she actually signed on to the REAL Act last Congress. But, you know, she's been really busy with healthcare and with getting green jobs. It's been important to her. I just think this kind of fell off her radar. I'll take your information, and I'll take down the bill number. I think it's HR 1551, and I will see what we can do, and hopefully we'll get her to sign on. Well, you guys should know, I don't believe our Congresswoman believes in providing sex education to young people. It's actually something she strongly disagrees with.
Would you be able to be more specific as to why she disagrees?
Well, she's been very clear. She thinks that abstinence only is the appropriate methods of teaching about sexual health. And the reality is she actually thinks sexual health should be taught in the home. And if you give young people information around contraceptives and condoms, the first thing they're going to do is go experiment and have sex. You know, young people aren't really able to make these kinds of decisions. Their hormones are going crazy, and we've seen teen pregnancy rates go up because people are trying to teach comprehensive sex ed. If the reality is, if we taught abstinence only, teen pregnancy rates would go down.
I understand what you are saying. However, are you aware that evaluations of publicly funded abstinence only in at least 13 states have shown no positive changes in sexual behavior over time? The main reason for the decline in teen pregnancies between 1995 and 2002 was the increased use of contraceptives. In a study by the APA, it was found that people at abstinence only education had an increased risk of pregnancy and HIV/AIDS, along with other STIs, because when they had sex, they were less likely to use contraceptives. In one instance in Arizona, 19% of teens in abstinence-only programs were sexually active after the end of the program. But the teens' attitudes about birth control became less favorable after the program because of the result of the emphasis on the failure rates of contraceptives.
Well, you can say what you want, but it's clear both sides have their evidence. And unfortunately, I don't think you guys have enough evidence to prove that comprehensive sex ed is actually effective.
I understand. Know, however, that I intend to go back to our district and work on mobilizing constituents on this issue, and that I will be following up with you sometime in the near future.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming in, you know, do what you got to do, but our Congresswoman doesn't really support your issue. my boss, the Congresswoman, probably needs a little more information about these issues of sexual health education.
Okay, do you have any questions now that I might be able to answer for you?
Not really. I mean, this isn't really my background. I work on environmental issues. Unfortunately, the person you were supposed to meet with today called in sick, so they had me come and fill in for them.
Okay, well, just, again, some brief information. The REAL Act will provide federal money for science-based responsible sex education in schools. U.S. teens acquire more than 4 million STIs, or sexually transmitted infections, each year, and teenage women experience about 800,000 unintended pregnancies each year. So there's clearly a critical need for science-based, medically accurate, and age-appropriate sex education in schools, and the REAL Act would fill this void.
Well, thanks for bringing in this information. It is helpful, but again, we're not really clear as to where the Congresswoman stands on this.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time, and I'll be sure to follow up with you as to maybe if I can speak with the person who works on this issue, or follow up with you in general if you have any other information about the Congresswoman's position regarding the bill.
Well, I do have one last question. How will the local funding streams be matched to the federal funding streams?
You know what? I'm not entirely sure what the answer to that question is, but I can find that out and follow up with you when I follow up with you later about the Congresswoman's position.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for coming in and talking with me.
I really appreciate it.
Great. Bye-bye.